I recently had the opportunity to go and chat with a bunch of guys from a charity called Men in Sheds. If you've not heard of Men in Sheds, I'll put a link to their website in the description down below. Check it out. Brilliant idea, but more on that in a future video. And the discussion was about them starting their own workshop and which tools they should or shouldn't get. And it occurred to me that as yet, I've not done a comparison between these two guys, the cordless and the corded Dewalt palm routers. So let's check it out. So these two routers, the bodies, the motors of the routers, are essentially the same thing. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to consider them the same. Although all the stats on this refer to it as a 900 watt motor, and this is referred to as an 18 volt. I'm not clever enough to do the comparison if there is one possible, but they feel all but identical. And again, both of them are available in an absolute plethora of kit varieties, both from basic right up to fully accessorized. And I'm going to talk about the fully accessorized kit with both, because that's what I bought with both. So they both come with fixed bases, and as you see them here, they're both in the fixed base. They both come with a plunge base. They both come with a parallel fence guide for the fixed base and a parallel fence guide for the plunge base, and dust extraction for both. And I'm pretty certain they both come with a centering tool so that you can get the two bases lined up perfectly. The cordless version you can buy without batteries or with batteries. So the two prices that I'm going to give you now are current as of the date that I record this video. The corded version is currently available online at £339 British pounds. The corded version with two batteries is currently available online at £388. And that version also comes with a charger. Just let me confirm. Yes, comes complete with a charger. So everything that you need to go for an extra 50 quid. Now, I say everything that you need to go. You buy it with two batteries, and it's entirely based on your scenario, your needs, your demands, as to whether those two batteries will be enough to get you through. If your workload is quite heavy, then I suspect two batteries won't get you through, and you might need at least one more, one fully charged, one charging, one in use, maybe two more. Like I say, depends on your workload. With the corded version, you just need to have paid your electricity bill. So the cordless version, the battery powered version, it's got upsides and downsides, in my opinion. The upside, the major benefit, is that you can use it, obviously, without a local power source. You still need a power source unless you're going to buy enough batteries to carry you through the entire working day. So it doesn't remove the need for power, but it does give you that extra flexibility to be able to take the router and a bunch of batteries over to the place you're doing the job. A perfect example would be if you're routering in door hinges and door furniture, and you've got 20 doors to do over there on that side of the building site, but your kit and your van's over on the other side of the building site. This would be absolutely brilliant. No local power source required, but you've got a large investment in the batteries. And at some point, you're going to have to bring those spent batteries back and recharge them. And that's going to take a while. With the corded version, then obviously you need a local power source. So a 50-meter extension lead would maybe get you out of the situation. But then, of course, you've got the issue of trailing that power lead to same scenario at every door that you're hanging and fitting furniture to. Very, very different set of requirements in a workshop, in my opinion. In fact, I would argue about any benefit at all with a cordless router in a workshop, because you've got a power source all around you, and a very short extension lead would be required if this cable won't reach to the power outlet closest to you. Back to the batteries again. The other issue I think there is with the battery powered version is, without the battery, this is very lightweight. In fact, it's lighter than the corded version. But as soon as you put the battery on the top, this lovely, easy to use and sling around palm router becomes really top heavy. And you've got to adjust your approach and counter that weight at the top when you're using it. So you effectively need to retrain yourself just a little bit in the usage of the battery powered over the cordless, because of all that weight, that great lump of lead or lithium or whatever the hell it is up the top. It can pull you off balance sometimes, and you're more often than not performing delicate little edge profile work, or again, going back to the doors, you're freehanding to take out the material to recess in a mortise lock. You don't want to break the line and you ruin the job. So not so sure about the benefit of a battery in that situation. And let's not forget, the downside of the corded version is the draw of the cable, or the drag of the cable rather, because again, if you're working on the edge of something, then that cable can drag and pull the router out of balance. There is an easy way to deal with that. Take the pressure off the cable with your other hand and then move around your workpiece so that you don't get cable drag. But you can't do that with the cordless version. The other important comparison that I think you're going to draw is the difference between the power under load, how the router performs corded 240 volt versus 18 volt when you're giving it a bit of a job to do. So I've got a larger 6mm radius roundover bit in the corded version first, and I'm going to use that to put a roundover on this piece of ply, and I'm going to push both of the routers so that they get under load, so that we can see and hear how they perform when they're really drawing on their power source, and whether the 18 volt is going to not be able to keep up with the corded version's ability to draw as much as it wants from the power source. So let's see what happens. So I'm sure you'll agree, after seeing that little test, there's very little difference between the corded and the cordless version when you put them under a reasonable load. So it's really going to come down to your needs, your workload, your environment when you're considering the difference between the two. I also think you've got to bring into that whether you're going to be using dust extraction with the routers as well, because I mentioned the cord drag on it. Well, if you've got dust extraction hose connected to it, that's going to drag far more than a little power cord. And if you're in a workshop environment with power outlets all around you, I struggle to see the benefit of a cordless over a corded. But that's just my opinion, and I would urge you to take all of the factors into account when you make your decision based on your needs and your environment. Anyway, I hope this video has been of some benefit to you if you're in the position of making the decision between the two. Thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Ta-ra.